Watching today's impeachment spectacle and listening to all the bluster and the blather, I came away with one overriding thought. As ineffective and pathetic the Democrats are as legislators, they're even worse actors.
I solemnly and sadly open the debate on the impeachment.
Today is a solemn day in America, a day that none of us hoped for.
It is with a solemn sense of duty that I rise today in support of impeachment.
A sad day for America. I'm not gleeful for today.
No, they're not gleeful, but they're not solemn or prayerful either. By the way, they were reportedly taking selfies on the House floor tonight. For a few months, though, they were ecstatic when they thought a whistleblower was going to deliver a victory next November. A victory they knew was going to be difficult amidst a roaring economy. They needed something to help them. But then the impeachment polls started to turn. Not one or two, but several, showing that Americans aren't buying their evidence-free hyperbole on Ukraine. After countless hours, oh my gosh, it's so tedious, these speeches and panels of liberal academics and hearsay witnesses and bitter foreign service officers, fewer Americans, not more, believe that Donald Trump committed an impeachable offense. Americans are pretty smart, aren't they? They can spot a sham when they see one. The same Democrats, by the way, who vehemently opposed impeaching Clinton in the 1990s because the crimes weren't serious enough, they now want Trump removed from office for committing no crime at all. Repeating a lie over and over again, Schiff thought, would be enough to win over America. That's how little he thinks of your intelligence. There was a blizzard of lies flying around the House chamber today, so we're going to focus tonight on just the important ones. Lie number one: the facts are settled.
The uncontested evidence shows Donald Trump violated his oath of office.
The facts are not in dispute.
The facts are black and white.
The evidence is undisputed.
Not a single fact in this case is seriously in dispute.
This is ludicrous on its face. Jim Jordan told the story well early this evening.
Democrats forgot two key things. Forgot about the facts and they forgot about fairness. No quid pro quo. Two guys on the call who've repeatedly said there was no pressure. Most importantly, Ukraine took no action, no announcement of investigation to get the aid released. But Democrats don't care. They don't care about the facts, and they sure don't care about the process.
In other words, Swalwell is unwell if he thinks the evidence is undisputed. Lie number two: this has been an open, above-board, and totally fair process.
Members of both parties have been involved at every stage of this.
In the depositions we conducted in the Intelligence Committee, over 100 members were able to participate.
The President was given the opportunity to come and testify before the Judiciary Committee, to send his counsel, to question witnesses. He declined to do so.
Okay, any lawyer who would have advised Trump to appear before Schiff or Nadler's Star Chamber should be disbarred. Again, Jordan nailed it.
No subpoena power for Republicans, no Republican witnesses. During the depositions, Republicans were prevented from getting all their questions answered, but Democrats got every one of their questions. I mean, of course, the whistleblower, the anonymous whistleblower with no firsthand knowledge, bias against the president, who worked for Joe Biden, was never compelled to testify. The guy who started it all.
We almost didn't recognize him because he had the jacket on. Lie number three: Trump used Ukrainian aid for political leverage.
He leveraged critically needed, congressionally approved military aid to Ukraine
in order to coerce a fraudulent investigation into a potential political opponent.
Military aid provided to fight the Russians as leverage, solely to benefit his own political campaign. George Washington would be astonished.
George Washington? Democrats aren't just originalists now, suddenly. They're clairvoyants, too. Here are the facts. Ukraine's military aid was delayed a mere 55 days, and it was all within reasonable bounds. It was released within the time frame that's established by Congress. Ukraine didn't have to announce investigations into the Bidens or the 2016 election or take any other actions. It's ridiculous. Line number four: Trump actively sought foreign election meddling.
The president actively sought foreign election interference to benefit himself.
The integrity of the 2020 election remains at risk.
Donald J. Trump sacrificed our national security in an effort to cheat in the next election.
If you think our national security is intimately connected with Ukraine, then we got to go back to school. Okay, it's ridiculous. First of all, we have the transcript of Trump's call with Zelensky. We know he never once mentions the 2020 election. And then there's a small matter of that stumbling, bumbling Joe Biden, the fact that he hasn't won his party's nomination yet. He isn't Trump's ultimate rival. The Bidens, like the Clintons, brought this problem on themselves by ignoring obvious conflicts of interest, Burisma, Hunter, and accepting large sums of money when they shouldn't have. So I'm glad the president wants answers about all of that. Joe Biden doesn't get a free pass from scrutiny because he's running for president. That's absurd. Line number 5. No one is above the law.
I know the president said that he can get away with anything he wants to. No, he cannot, because no one is above the law.
If you live on 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, you are not above the law.
At least he knows the address of the White House. Wait a second. Democrats don't believe that for a second by their own conduct and policies. From the way they shielded the Clintons to the way they currently shield the Bidens. They don't even want those questions asked. And, of course, to the way they prop up and coddle illegal immigrants who are so far out of the shadows at this point that they lined up block by block by block to wait for driver's licenses in New York this week. Line number 6. Trump is obstructing Congress.
He tried to cover up his scandalous behavior, and he obstructed the investigation.
He obstructed Congress every step of the way in an effort to cover it all up.
Instead, has blocked numerous witnesses from testifying about his actions.
President Trump's actions are even worse than Nixon's.
Talk about zero credibility. Oh, New York must be so proud. Democrats want you to believe that the president challenging subpoenas in court or asserting executive privilege is an impeachable offense. Well, guess what? As Alan Dershowitz has said so many times on this show, that would eviscerate executive privilege and destroy our separation of powers. And a little matter of the Democrats, they didn't go to court. If they wanted to show obstruction, they needed to file an emergency petition in court. So why didn't they? And that's the angle.